Have you ever made a promise to yourself that starting tomorrow, everything will change? You tell yourself, tomorrow I'll be different. Tomorrow I'll finally stick with it. But instead of change, what shows up is disappointment, because once again, you gave up halfway through. If you've ever been in that spot, maybe what you need isn't just another wave of motivation, but a new way of approaching it. And over the next 7 days, that's exactly what we'll explore together. We often think inconsistency is just about laziness. But if you dig deeper, it actually comes from patterns we've never really noticed. That's why this journey begins not with building a new habit, but with looking back at your own history. Take a quiet moment away from your screen and distractions. Grab a piece of paper and a pen. Write down all the things you once started with excitement, but abandoned halfway, whether it was exercising, reading, journaling, waking up early, or learning something new. Each one of those abandoned goals is like a witness to the hope you once had, but never let grow. Now look at each one and ask, why did I stop? Was it because you lost motivation, got distracted, or didn't know what step to take next? This isn't about blaming yourself, it's about recognizing your patterns. Because you can't change something if you don't even realize it exists. Once you understand where you tend to stumble, you can prepare for it. And today, you've learned one powerful truth. Consistency begins with being honest about your own failures. The truth is, many people fail not because they're weak, but because their reasons are too shallow. We tell ourselves, I want to be more disciplined, or I want to be more successful. But those reasons are so vague that when your energy fades, they're not strong enough to hold you up. That's why today is about digging deeper, finding a reason that shakes your heart. Ask yourself, why do I really want to change? And the answer shouldn't come from social pressure. It has to be born from pain, from love, or from responsibility. Maybe your reason is this. I want to be consistent because I don't want my child to grow up watching their father give up every time things get hard. Or maybe it's, I want to change because I'm sick of living with regret every night before I go to sleep. That kind of emotional reason, the kind that makes you cry when you think about it, that's what will carry you when your motivation disappears. Because real motivation doesn't come from the outside. It comes from wounds, from love, from hope deep inside your chest. Write your reason down. Don't just keep it in your head, put it on paper. Stick it somewhere you'll see every day. That piece of paper isn't just a note. It's a promise. One of the biggest mistakes we make when trying to change is setting goals that are way too big on day one. We try to read an entire book in a day, exercise for an hour nonstop, or wake up early without preparing. But human bodies and minds aren't built for extreme overnight change. That's why on day 3, you'll learn an important principle. It's better to start small and stay consistent than to go big and burn out. Changing your life isn't about speed, it's about sustainability. So instead of aiming high, take the tiniest possible step. If you want to write daily, start with just one paragraph, not a whole chapter. If you want to exercise, start with 5 minutes of stretching, not a 5-kilometer run. Small goals feel doable. And every time you complete one, your brain sends a message. I can do this. That message slowly builds self-trust and inner momentum. You don't need to be extraordinary today. You just need to win one tiny battle against the urge to procrastinate. From that small victory, bigger momentum will come. Here's another truth. Motivation is like a spark. It burns bright for a moment, then disappears. Real consistency doesn't survive on motivation alone. It grows from systems. A system is a path that guides you even when your motivation has run out. Think about it. Why do you brush your teeth every day without needing a pep talk? Not because you're motivated, but because it's already part of your rhythm. You don't overthink it, you just do it. That's the power of systems. So today, your task is to build one small system. Maybe it's setting an alarm, adding reminders to your calendar, sticking notes on your mirror, or creating a nighttime routine. Don't wait for motivation. Create an environment where action becomes automatic. If you want to write in the morning, leave your notebook and pen ready on your desk the night before. If you want to meditate, set an alarm with a soft sound. Systems are like rails for a train. Even if the engine of motivation dies, you'll still keep moving forward. But let's be real, there will be days when you slip. Days when you wake up late, skip your journaling, miss your workout, and feel like everything fell apart. That's the moment when consistency is truly tested. Many people think consistent people never fail, but that's not true. They fail too. The difference is they don't stop. They don't treat one mistake as a reason to quit forever. They understand that one stumble doesn't erase 1,000 steps forward. So when you face those imperfect days, don't punish yourself. Don't use one small failure as an excuse to reset back to zero. Consistency isn't about never falling, it's about how quickly you stand up and keep going. Even if you feel like you've failed, give yourself permission to return. You don't need fiery motivation, just a quiet decision. I'll start again, even if it's just a little. Growth doesn't come from perfect days. It comes from the courage to return again and again. We live in a world that pressures us to always be extraordinary, always productive, always disciplined. But let's be honest, that's exhausting. And often, it's perfectionism in disguise. We think if we can't do it perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. That mindset kills consistency. Because the truth is, being consistent doesn't mean being amazing every day. Because the truth is, being consistent doesn't mean being amazing every day. It just means showing up. Because the truth is, being consistent doesn't mean being amazing every day. It just means showing up. Even when your energy is low. Even when you don't feel like it. Even when your results are unimpressive. Even if it's just one small step toward your goal. Showing up half-hearted is still better than not showing up at all. Writing one sentence, reading one page, or meditating for 1 minute, that's still keeping the flame alive. And that's enough, because real transformation doesn't come from rare, extraordinary moments. It comes from small, ordinary acts, repeated endlessly. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel strong. Just show up today with whatever you have. Now you've arrived at day 7. Maybe you don't feel like a completely new person yet. Maybe you haven't hit every target you imagined. But you're still here. You're still standing. And that alone is worth celebrating. Too often we delay pride until some big result arrives. But transformation isn't always visible from the outside. Sometimes it happens silently inside, like when you pause before procrastinating, or when you whisper to yourself, I could go a little further. Those are victories too. So today, you don't need to prove anything. You only need to acknowledge one truth. You showed up for 7 days in a row. And that's something not everyone can do. Don't wait for someone else to cheer for you. Celebrate yourself. Smile at your reflection in the mirror. Write a short thank you note to yourself. Because these 7 days weren't just a challenge. They were a journey back to who you really are, someone who doesn't give up easily. Now you know, being consistent isn't about superhuman strength. It's about awareness, about having a reason, about systems, and about the courage to keep coming back. Over these 7 days, you didn't just build habits, you built character. And that character is the version of you that refuses to quit. If this message hit you hard and woke you up, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who also needs consistency. And if you're ready, type in the comments, I'm ready to change in the next 7 days. Because change doesn't happen someday. It happens today when you decide to start.